Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Now, I know that I have been on a gaming kick on this channel as of recently, and I came across this news story from The Hollywood Reporter that combines both gaming with movies, and that is apparently Sega and a company called Picturestart team up for video game adaptations of Space Channel 5 and Comix Zone. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am not that familiar with Space Channel 5. I believe it released on the Dreamcast, and that's about all I know it from. I think it even got a GBA port, but Comix Zone is the one game I'm familiar with. It's actually the gameplay that you're seeing right now, and I was the biggest fucking idiot by not setting the language correctly and actually playing this game in Japanese. So if there were any helpful hints at all during like the first like round or two that I was playing it, yeah, I was a complete fucking dum-dum. And forgot to reset the language from Japanese to English. But anyway, let's get into this article for side tangenting on the fact that I was a fucking dum-dum. With a third Sonic the Hedgehog movie now in the works, Sega, the video game company behind the global hit, is now targeting other titles for adaptation. Yes, if we look at the success of the Sonic movies, the first movie in 2020 was made on a budget of $85 million, and it grossed $319,715,683 worldwide, while the second movie made $401,872,904 worldwide. However, the budget got an increase to $110 million. So, technically, the margins are probably the same, but there is no doubt that the Sonic the Hedgehog movies should not have worked, but somehow did. Sega has partnered with Picturestart, the banner behind the recently released MIOK and Sundance hit Cha Cha Real Smooth, to develop film adaptations of two of its 1990s video game titles, Space Channel 5 and Comix Zone. Channel 5, a comedy/dance adaptation of the cult classic 1999 dance game, will tell the story of a hapless fast food worker who is recruited by a freedom reporter from the future to save the world from aliens using the one thing that unites all people on the planet: our love of silly viral dances. For those of you guys that are familiar with Space Channel 5, you're gonna have to let me know in the comments if that's what the game was. Like I said, of the two games, Space Channel 5 and Comix Zone, Space Channel 5 is the one that I am the least familiar with. That project is being written by Barry Battles, and I am going to mispronounce this name, Near Paneri. Battles wrote and directed the Baytown Outlaws, a 2012 crime comedy starring Billy Bob Thornton and Eva Longoria. Paneri wrote and directed Extracted, a sci-fi drama nominated for the Emerging Visions Awards at South by Southwest. Zone, an adaptation of the cult console game, that's obviously Comix Zone. Why can't they just call it Comix Zone? Okay, why do they have to call it Zone? I could understand, even with Channel 5, why can't you just call it Space Channel 5? Why do you have to call it Channel 5? Why, and just call this fucking Comix Zone. But okay, here we go. Zone, an adaptation of the cult console game, follows a jaded comic book creator and a young, queer writer of color who, when sucked into the final issue of his popular series, must put aside their differences to stop a dangerous supervillain from sowing complete destruction. In the process, they wittily explore the ever-evolving art of storytelling themselves. And I'm going to come right out of the gate and say this. Why do they have to go out of their way to what's the word I'm looking for? Why did they have to go out of their way to mention that the writer was a young, queer writer of color? I am not one on the get woke, go broke crowd, but at the same time, it's pretty hard to ignore them when you get crap like this. When you have these articles and these screenwriters going out of their way to make sure that that one of the characters being followed is a young, queer writer of color. Make sure tick at least two of those boxes. Why do they do that? Get brownie points on Twitter, but who the fuck cares about brownie points on fucking Twitter? There are many people that I know personally who would not go see that movie just based on that alone. If you're going to go that far into pushing the ideology, which, let's be honest, they are pushing the identity politics into this. If you're gonna go that far to push it here, what else are you going to push the identity politics are? How preachy is the movie going to be? Sorry, but you can only get burned so many times before you eventually learn to stop touching that burning hot stove. And if you keep touching it, well, you're just a fucking dumbass. Zone will be written by May Cat, whose credits include writing on Emmy-winning animated DC series Young Justice. Young Justice was a pretty good show. And the How to Train Your Dragon spin-off series Dragons the Nine Realm. I think it's Dragons the Nine Realms. She was also a writer on Netflix's Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. Royce Reeves Darby and Eric Feig are overseeing both projects for Picturestart and will produce alongside the company's Sammy Kim Falvey. Picturestart already has a toe in video game adaptations, as it is one of the companies producing Borderlands, Lionsgate's fantasy based on the Gearbox/2K video game. Sega's Toru Nakahara, producer of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise, as well as executive producer for Sonic Prime TV series, will produce the two adaptations. Takumi Yoshinaga, Sega video game director, will join the team for Channel 5, while, and I'm sorry guys, I know my Japanese is really rusty, I think it's Kagase Shimomura, Sega's video game producer, will join the team for Zone, and Battles is represented by such and such union, whatever. I'm now really concerned for these adaptations, because if they're going that far with Comix Zone to push the identity politics, they're making it known that one of the characters is a young queer, what do they say again? I'm trying to find it here. A young queer writer of color. If they're going that far to push it there, how far are they going to go with Space Channel 5? Because from what I'm guessing, Space Channel 5, seeing as there's a female on the cover, my theory is that Space Channel 5 was more than likely developed by some very, very horny Japanese developers. So how much of that is going to carry over into the movie? Probably not too much, and that's where my main concern is with these adaptations. We already know with one of them, they're pushing identity politics really fucking hard with Comix Zone. How far are they going to go with Space Channel 5? That personally remains to be seen, but in my opinion, they're probably going to push it hard there too, since they're already pushing it hard with Comix Zone. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here before I drag this out way longer than it needs to go. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so, and let me know your thoughts on the Comix Zone and Space Channel 5 movies. Me personally, I think a Comix Zone movie could work in this time, especially if they went like hardcore parody on it. If they made the Comix Zone movie a parody of the comic book movie genre, I think it could work. But if you're going to push identity politics first, well, bye-bye Comix Zone movie. That's pretty much all I have to say on that. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and surely end it right here. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following along, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos, so I'll just see you guys next time.